I'm live now. I probably been live for like a few seconds, so I was probably just sitting there waving my hands like an idiot. Um, so yeah, if anyone was waiting until 3 p.m. Eastern, my bad. I had to reschedule it because the event ended early, like early, and I was just like, "Oops, that was way earlier than I expected." So here I am live. I rescheduled it about 20 minutes ago. So yeah, yeah, but I was expecting a more mild and tame event for like a spring event. So it was interesting. It was really interesting. I'm actually loading up the Apple website now to see if the new stuff is up there. Usually they're pretty fast about adding the new stuff in right after the event's over. So let's go to apple.com. Let me just full screen this. Switch over here. Okay, they got the Mac Studio up here already. So, yep. They got the new iPhone SE. They got the new poopy green iPhone 13 and 13 Pro. They got all of this stuff up here. The only thing I think that's missing, oh yeah, I forgot. I scrolled right past the iPad Air. So yeah, it looks like everything's up here. So cool. So we can actually talk about all this new stuff. And also, since my last live stream, let me switch back to the main. Ooh, got the new camera angle, which doesn't allow me to disguise myself. Like my room, it's a little bit messy. I got my fan. I usually move my fan out of the way, but you know what? I had to make last minute adjustments. So I tried to make it more presentable in here. Now I got this keyboard over here. It's just all on the shot. But yeah, I had to repaint my walls recently. Not both the walls. So I have these two walls that are black. The one that's in front of me that you can't see, that's behind the camera, and then the one back there. And then of course my two side walls are white. The one back there is fine because I mean nothing really happens back there aside from like I set up a table to do videos and that's the backdrop. But because my desk is against this wall, it got really scratched throughout the year. And then I moved stuff, put up new shelves, took down other shelves, so the paint got really messed up. So I had to repaint this wall, and in doing that, I had to take my whole desk apart. So when I took my whole desk apart, I was finally able to move my little camera arm that I bought to the center of the desk. So now I'm not like all on the side like before it was like over here. So you can see the whole room now, unfortunately. So now I gotta like organize everything and make it look presentable, which I didn't. But I didn't expect the camera angle to be like this. This is the first time I'm using this new angle. So yeah, that was the thing. That happened. And no, I'm not just buying time to see who else is going to show up at this live streaming event where we talk about what went down at Peak Performance, which was actually kind of a lot for an hour event. So yeah, I think originally I was expecting it to be like, maybe like an hour and a half or something like that. But when they got in and it was pretty snappy, I was like, oh, this is going to be shorter than I expected. But yeah, with Apple events, you can never tell. Let me see, what's this notification? I don't care about other YouTubers' videos. Why are you sending me notifications, YouTube? Anyway, yeah, this event was very, very interesting for a number of reasons. I guess I can go ahead and kind of hop into it. I forgot where I put my notes at. It's probably on the other screen. I was so ill prepared for this today. I wasn't expecting this event to be like anything spectacular. And then it was. And I was like, not like super spectacular, but there were some surprising announcements today. So we're going to hop right into it because I got to remember. I don't want to forget anything. So let's go over what they started with, which was Apple TV Plus. And now I forgot that I had a subscription to that. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Apple TV Plus. So they basically said they're going to be doing some movies. They had some stuff with Denzel Washington. I forgot who the other people were, but they had a movie upcoming with Denzel Washington. That's cool. I mean, I have the whole Apple, one plan or whatever it's called. I forgot. But it was mainly because I was already paying for this extra iCloud storage because I'm sharing it with 5 people. And so I was already paying for the Max. Plus, I was paying for Fitness Plus. So it made more sense just to get the whole thing. It wasn't that much more expensive. It was like $2 more or something like that. So yeah, I do have the whole thing. So I got the arcade and Fitness Plus and the gaming thing. Oh, that I already said arcade. Arcade, Fitness Plus, the iCloud storage, and then the Apple TV Plus, and the News Plus, which I literally don't use. So yeah, I guess their big reveal for that was the MLB stuff. They're gonna have exclusive games on Apple TV Plus, which I'm just like, I mean, I guess like if you're a sports fan, that might be exciting. Like if you're an MLB fan specifically, but for me, I'm just kind of like, I gotta take a sip of water real quick because it's real hot in here, and I gotta have the fan off for the live stream. I usually have the fan on 24/7. So if you notice in my videos, like by the end of it, I'm like drenched in sweat. That's because it's extremely hot in here. It's always hot in this room and just upstairs in general. So there's usually always a fan on except for when I record. And the reason it's hot is because downstairs is always cold. So if we made it cooler up here, then downstairs would be freezing. So it's either suffer up here and the heat or be freezing when I go downstairs. And there's no carpet downstairs either. So the floor would just be like walking on ice. Like I'd be ice skating literally as soon as I walk downstairs. So that's why we had to make that compromise. And that's why my videos sometimes I appear to be very moist because it's hot. Okay. That was a long explanation just to take a sip of water, but yeah, so the Apple TV Plus, I just don't care about it. I mean, I heard Ted Lasso is good. I'm just, again, it seems like a sportsy type show. I think I watched the first episode and I was like, this is okay. I might continue it eventually. But I don't know. I just think I need more big titles. The morning show is good. I'm still waiting for season 2. I don't even know if season 2 came out yet. I haven't been keeping up with stuff. I've been bad at it, so it might have already came out. I don't think it did though. But I really enjoyed the morning show, so I'm really interested to see where that goes for season 2. But I feel like it might be one of those shows where, like, they landed on a big cliffhanger. A lot happened in that first season. So I don't know if the second season can actually live up to what they did with the first season. But again, we'll see. But yeah, Apple TV Plus, I just feel like is probably fine for the price, but I'm not really excited about it. What is playing sounds? Oh, I left that Apple stream open. That's right. The replay started. I was like, "What is that music?" I don't think y'all didn't hear it because I don't have my desktop audio, but it was just like the song just started randomly playing, and I was like, "What is going on?" But yeah, I forgot the stream ended, the Apple stream, and it was still open in the background, so they finally made it available, so the replay just automatically started. So yeah, I was like, what is that? Anyway, let's move on to the first thing aside from Apple TV Plus, which was the iPhone 13's new colors. I forgot that a lot of the times they do new colors for spring, so this is literally just a green. It's just a green. It's not even like, yeah, I mean, here it is. It's just green iPhone. I like the green. It's a little bit more foresty. I think the Pro, they called it Alpine green. I think the regular 13, they just called it green. So yeah, Alpine. Do they have, is this just the Pro? Let me go back. Yeah, that was just the Pro. So let me see what they call it on the 13. I think I missed that during the presentation. This is just green. Yeah, it's just green. I was like, did I miss something, or did they not give this a specific name? Pink, blue. I guess for the regular iPhone, they don't want to put the effort into doing like a adjective for the for the colors. So it's just green for the regular 13. And then for the Pro, it's the Alpine green, which they look exactly the same. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why they did that. I was like, are they both Alpine green? Is one just Alpine green? I don't know, but yeah, apparently, I guess the regular iPhone 13 just doesn't get that premium feel, like that premium name. That's just green. So I think that's that. There's not much to say about it. It's a cool color. Like if you're getting an iPhone 13, then yeah. Like if you were buying one right now, then yeah, cool. I would get that color probably. But otherwise, I feel like a lot of people buy their iPhones during the fall. So with that being said, and with that out of the way, we can go directly. You just go directly into the next thing, which it was the iPhone SE. So it's an iPhone 8. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about the design. It's still an iPhone 8. I think the rumor was that they're finally going to do like the iPhone XR design, but I don't know if they'll do that because the XR, from my understanding, it was really difficult to get that curved LCD display, which was why it was thicker, like just form factor and bezel wise than the OLED models, is they had to kind of really work at getting that display curved. So I don't know if they would go back to that design for the iPhone SE, considering, if it's what I heard is true, how difficult it was to make. So I was hoping that they would just suck it up and maybe just do the iPhone 10 body and just switch everything over to OLED. But also, it's like a $430 phone, so they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that until they feel like OLED is like normal enough. And unless they've normalized it where it's not a selling feature anymore, and right now it is to them, they're not going to do it until it's like we're a few generations in on OLED. Because we just moved to all OLED models last generation. So they want to wait until they get old, and then they're going to finally bring it up to probably, I wouldn't say, even the iPhone 10 design, they don't make that form factor anymore. Like the 11 was the last one that used that form factor. They moved everything to like the 6.1 inch for the regular iPhone. So I think eventually it'll probably get to the iPhone mini size. Like the iPhone mini might be the next iPhone SE body if we're going around like the cheap phone bodies. I could see them just getting rid of the mini and then making the SE essentially the mini. And then also it's rumored that they're supposed to be greatly reducing the notch, aka pretty much getting rid of it this year. So we'll see what happens when the iPhone 14 comes out. So if that's the case, I could definitely see either like the 6.1 inch iPhone OLED in like the next 2 to 3 years, or the mini being the next form factor for the SE. Now, aside from it obviously being an iPhone 8, it is also supposedly going to have the A15 Bionic, which of course is basically the same as this year's iPhone 13, which is super fast. Like, aside from the form factor, it's a pretty good deal. Like, you're getting the latest chip, so speed's not going to be an issue. They also are like, you can do the live text where you can use the camera and you can grab text off an object, which actually works surprisingly well. I use it a lot more than I thought I would. Not live text, but I usually, like, if I have a photo, my alarm went off. Really? I usually wake up around this time, so yeah. I forgot to turn my second alarm off. But yeah, you can get the live text features. You're still stuck with Touch ID, which I personally don't like. I like Face ID a lot better. I know I'm in the minority when it comes to that. And yeah, there's nothing really special about it, aside from they did this red, white, and graphite color. So I think it's technically Product Red Starlight and then graphite, if I remember correctly. Why do I have to remember? I have my notes right here. Did I actually write down the colors? Oh, Midnight, Starlight, and Product Red. I said Graphite. Midnight. Midnight. It's important. So, oh, and also they were introducing 5G. That was the other thing. 5G is coming to the iPhone SE, which is whatever. I've had, the 5G iPhone, and it's probably going to depend on your service, but like T-Mobile, it really doesn't feel any different than 4G LTE. So that's it. I am actually excited because we're probably going to be upgrading our in-laws' phones this year to the new SEs. So yeah, I was actually looking at this pretty intently to see what new features they'd be getting, because one of them has the first generation iPhone SE, and the other one has my old iPhone 7 Plus, which I already had for 2 years before I handed it over, and the battery is pretty much shot in that thing. So it's like, we're going to do the battery replacement and maybe get a few more years of software out of it, or just get a new phone at this point. And I think it's time for both of them to get new phones. So it'll probably be the SE. Okay. Epic Wave. Not sure if I should wait or just buy something now. Yeah, I would. I think that they're probably going to do a massive redesign this year for the Face ID module. At least that's what the rumor is. But it probably won't be that different otherwise. So if you can wait, like if you have a working phone, I'd probably just wait till September. But I don't think that this year's phone is going to be that drastically different. Aside from like the notch being gone, which I don't personally care about that much, to be honest. Next was the iPad Air as far as the presentation, which is cool. I mean, the iPad Air is like, I don't know. It's weird. I just feel like there's just too much overlap with the iPad Air and the 11-inch iPad Pro. It feels like one of them shouldn't exist. And I don't feel like Apple makes it clear enough to customers like what the advantages of buying the 11-inch iPad Pro or the iPad Air. And the iPad Air is pretty expensive. Like, let me see. I think it's like, what does it start off at? $600. So yeah, I mean, it's not even like that much cheaper. Like maybe if it was like $450 or something like that, okay, then there's a reason to buy the iPad Air over the iPad Pro. But I think at this price is just confusing. So aside from the display being a little bit bigger on the 11-inch iPad Pro, it also has the Pro display, or I forgot what they call their high refresh rate stuff. It can do up to 120 hertz, and to me that makes more of a difference than having a faster chip. So they bumped it up to the M1 along with the same as the new iPad Pros. So it's going to have the same chip as the iPad Pros. Still going to have Touch ID. The camera's not as good. It still has a single camera, which it's an iPad. I don't know many people, if any, that use the iPad camera at all. I guess my stepmom did when we visited. She did take pictures on it. I don't know. It was a thing. So some people do use it. So if you care about the camera, then the iPad Pro is better as well. And then it's just going to have a regular USB-C port still, whereas the new iPad Pros have Thunderbolt. So faster transfer speeds and that kind of stuff. So yeah, to me, it doesn't make any sense. I would buy personally, if I was looking at this, I would probably just shop on Apple's refurbished site and get like a refurbished 2020 iPad Pro. It's probably, the display is going to be, like, the refresh rate to me makes the biggest difference. And it'll probably be a little bit cheaper than the Air. So the Air still doesn't make any sense unless you like the colors, and for some reason you hate Face ID and like Touch ID. Epic Wave, I feel like they hit their peak and now it's just small adjustments with big price tags. Yeah, I think the iPhone 10, I would say, was the last big like change, and now it's like, it's kind of like, like last year was the first year I didn't upgrade. I think I was upgrading partially because I like doing the videos, like the unboxing and all that stuff. But also it was like the returns were really diminishing. Like the iPhone is already so ahead, like with its chips. Like whenever I got a new phone, I'm like, this isn't even faster, and does it feel faster? All my stuff's up here. It runs the same software. So it's really like diminishing returns at a certain point. So I plan on hanging on to this phone to my 12 for probably at least another year or two. Like this next phone will really have to blow me away for me to want to upgrade at this point. Okay, so we're working our way. I keep opening Notepad by accident. I should no go away. You're ruining my live stream. Going down the list of things that they announced. So, did they go directly into? I guess the next thing was the Apple Silicon, and that was it. So, yeah. So basically, the big thing in this event, the unexpected thing, was the Mac Studio, and yeah, it was a little bit surprising. I'm gonna be honest. I was not expecting that. I was expecting a new 27-inch iMac because that was the next thing in line to replace. But they gave us a new variant of the M1 chip, the M1 Ultra, which is literally just two M1 Maxes taped together, from what they said. There's like a transistor that connects two M1 Maxes, and that's pretty much the M1 Ultra. So it's kind of cool to see the first like high-end desktop, because I was wondering what they were going to do with the desktop, because the M1 Pro is a good laptop chip, and the Max is like, a good kind of entry-level-ish, like high-end desktop chip, but I didn't feel like it was good enough to carry like a desktop line. So it makes sense that the Max is going to be the baseline for the desktop, and then they're going to have the Ultra be like the higher end for the desktop. So I'm interested to see what the performance is like. The main thing is that this is apparently, from what I gathered, I think this is going to be the 27-inch iMac replacement. So yeah, I caught it at the very, very end of the presentation where they said the transition is not done. We still have the Mac Pro. And I was just like, okay, because I didn't even think they were going to mention the Mac Pro at all. I was assuming that maybe this was going to be their solution, so I'm surprised that they're actually going to do a Apple Silicon version of the Mac Pro. But yeah, they said we still have the Mac Pro, but they didn't mention the 27-inch iMac, which I guess, when you think about it, they did this new 27-inch display, and they have this Mac Studio. I guess what will be the point of the iMac. And also, this also kind of got rid of the Mac Mini too. It's like they combined the Mac Mini, like the higher end Mac Mini that they used to have, along with the higher end iMac. I could be wrong. They might do like a higher end version of the iMac, but their shady comments or shady exclusion of the iMac from their transition talk makes me think that there's not going to be a higher end Mac Mini or higher end iMac, that this is going to replace both of them, which is fine. Like, this seems like a really cool product. It's like a Mac Mini with a way bigger forehead. It's got like a 7 head. It's like a Mac Mini with a 7 head, which is it's cool. I just got a Mac Mini recently. It's a really cool machine, and I like the design. The price tag, though, it was a little bit more than it's not really more than what I expected. I was hoping that maybe it would start off with like the $1,500 price range, not $2,000, but it is starting with the M1 Max, which I believe if you stepped it up, like the MacBook Pro up to the M1 Max, it's like a $500 difference or something. So that makes sense. And plus, you're getting 32 gigs of memory right off the jump too. So it's not like a bad deal for what you're getting, except for that 512 gig SSD. Like, just give us a terabyte at this point, Apple. For $2,000, you could do a terabyte. And then the M1 Ultra is starting off at $4,000. That's when I was like, ooh, that's a little steep. But in their own product line, it makes sense because the baseline Mac Pro starts off at $5,000, which the baseline Mac Pro is trash, like as far as as far as specs. So this will definitely outperform the baseline Mac Pro, and it's technically coming in cheaper, and you get 1 terabyte of storage, blah blah blah. So neither of them are like a bad deal. I was just hoping that maybe they would make something a little bit more affordable, but I guess for the performance, they really haven't had anything around this price range that can compete. Epic Wave, for that price, I just build a PC. Yeah, that's that's the main reason. Like, I just have my Windows desktop now. Like, I got the Mac Mini to do my music stuff because I already paid for Logic Pro a long time ago, back when I first got my Mac. So I don't feel like investing in another music program, so I keep a Mac around for that. But when I wanted to get some serious video editing done, and I was tired of like barely being able to afford like a baseline MacBook Pro for $2,000, that the specs were just, in my opinion, nowhere near good enough to justify the price, and it wasn't giving me the performance I wanted, I just decided to build my own desktop. And then I kind of built it up over the years. So I'm pretty sure this would not outperform my desktop, and I probably spent less money on it. But with software optimization, it could probably come close, but it probably still wouldn't. It can't, like brute force wise, it can't outperform my my Windows desktop. But yeah, I do think that they should have probably done an M1 Pro option for this studio around $1,500. I think that'd be just to have that option for people that want that performance, because it's not like the M1 Pro and M1 Max. Like, it's already been shown from people doing benchmarks and tests, they're not that different performance wise. So yeah, I was hoping it'd be like a little bit cheaper, but I guess for what you get with the whole package, it's fine. Like I said, for Apple's pricing and what they have in their lineup, it's a good deal. So I'll be interested to see how this Ultra benchmarks realistically against like real world Mac Pro and just other Windows computers. With like, I want to see someone build a $4,000 Windows computer and put it against this and see how it does. Not saying that it would, not just because I think it would do bad or whatever. I'm just curious to see like what you're actually getting for $4,000 with this thing. And the other thing they announced was the Studio display, which is like $1,500, I think. $1,600. Sorry. Does this come with? This comes with a stand, right? Let's see. Okay, cool. Yeah, it does come with a stand. Because was it like $1,000 for the Pro Display XDR stand? Like, it didn't come with a stand. Okay, so yeah, you can get like the regular tilt adjustable stand or the VESA mount included, and then the tilt and height adjustable stand is an extra $400. It's a lot of money. I'd probably just get the VESA mount at that point and buy like a stand from Amazon, like like an arm mount or something. Yeah, that's a lot for. That's a big price difference. $400 just for an extra adjustable stand. But yeah, it's basically, this monitor is basically to turn it into an iMac. That's the thing that like people are waiting for, or not people are waiting for, but that's the thing that I noticed with my Mac Mini. Like, right off the box, I'm like, oh, I don't have a webcam or speakers. Well, it has speakers, but I don't have a webcam and I don't have microphones. This has a webcam and microphones. It has that ultra wide webcam, so it can do center stage where it keeps you in frame, and it has like some new speaker system. So literally, that's why I think that they're getting rid of the 27-inch iMac, because for one, this is 27 inches, and it basically has all the stuff that would make this computer an iMac in the display. So yeah, I think the display, I don't know. I've got two 32-inch monitors, so for me, 27 inches is just a bit too small. So yeah, I don't think. I mean, it's probably a really good display. It's probably worth the price, overall for the quality, because I mean I do video editing and I went out of my way to buy a good display and they're not cheap. So considering that you can probably do like, it's probably really color accurate and it's 5K and all that stuff, it's probably fine. But again, I would probably just use my own display and save some money if I was getting the studio, because I wouldn't be spending like 1,500 for a 27-inch display. I need something bigger. I need like my 32 or a TV. Just put a whole TV in the wall. Epic wave. I'm still waiting for the iPhone flip. So a fake pick a while ago and I want it for some reason. Yeah, I'm curious when they're finally gonna do their folding phone, but I don't know. Like Apple is very much like they're gonna wait until the tech is perfect, and I don't think it's there yet. So they're gonna wait until it's perfect, and then you're gonna add an extra 2 to 3 years on top of that, and then that's when they're finally gonna do it. So Samsung has been getting really close with the Z Flip and then the Z Fold. Those phones have gotten pretty good, but there's still issues like with the gaps and dust getting into them. They finally got their phones to be water resistant last year, which is good, but they still have that whole exposed hinge issue. So I think Apple would probably want to engineer their way out of that and find a better solution than what's currently being done. So like I said, I think we're probably maybe like 5 years away at least from like an Apple folding phone, which is sad because I really want one too. It's stupid. It's just it's the same thing, but it folds. I want something like, I wouldn't want like the standard size phone. I want something that folds out into like more of a tablet size, like the Z Folds, where you got a regular phone and then when you need to, you got this huge tablet-like phone that I would never use, but it would make me feel good knowing that my phone could do that. Because that's the type of person I am. I just like having stuff to feel like, you know what? If I wanted to, I could turn this into a tablet. I'm not going to ever, but the option's there. So, yeah, that was pretty much the event. Like I said, the big surprise, of course, was the studio. I am interested in seeing like how people feel. Like I said, I don't really care as much about the computers. At this point, I would probably just buy the cheapest Mac possible, which I did, which is the Mac Mini. But yeah, I was also surprised that we haven't seen an upgrade to the M1, considering the first products launched in late 2020. But this kind of made me feel like they're waiting to complete the transition before they start their yearly incremental upgrade of the chip. So maybe they'll complete the complete the transition with the Mac Pro, possibly. I wonder if they'll do that this year since they mentioned it. Because I find it weird that they mentioned that they still need to do the Mac Pro, because Apple's not going to just mention something in a show unless they have something planned for it. So maybe we'll see something Mac Pro wise in the fall. Even if it's not like the replacement, then maybe they'll give us some more information on what they're planning to do with it. But they might just be waiting until they complete the transition to start the upgrade cycle. Like then we're going to get the M2 or whatever they call the next chip. They're probably going to name it something stupid, like the M1 plus one. I'm like, Apple, you could have just named it the M2. And the names. The names. At least the what do we have now? The M1, we got the Pro, and then we got the Max, and we got the Ultra. At least there's not like a Pro Max, like with the iPhone. It's like, I don't know. Their names need work. So yeah, but yeah, I think this Mac Studio, of course, is the most interesting thing out of the whole presentation. If I was more into computers, if I wasn't ruined on the MacBook Pro and won the second. Yeah, if the MacBook Pro wouldn't have ruined me a few years ago, I could have been a Mac computer user. But you know what? I'm just probably never going to use a Mac as my primary computer again. I'm going to stick to the iPhones and the iPads, and sometimes the headphones, except for the what are they called? The AirPod Maxes. Those were weirdly disappointing for me. But yeah, otherwise, I think it was a really good event. I think it was more than what I expected for a fall event. So yeah, that's gonna probably wrap up this Apple talk, because I actually have to, unfortunately, go into the office today for work because of the stupid account upgrade thing they're doing that requires us to go in. So I physically have to leave the house. You know, I haven't left the house in years. So it's upsetting. It's upsetting. I had to get out of my chair, drive the car. I don't even know if the car works anymore. I don't even know if it has gas. I have to drive the car like 10 miles. It's horrible. The things that they do to me at my place of employment. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you to everyone that has joined. Of course, I'm not doing like a regular video this week because I did this and I had to get up early for it. And this would be the time where I would usually be asleep so I could prepare to finish my video at the last minute overnight like I usually do, because I procrastinate sometimes. It doesn't matter. Like, I'll start the video like a week ahead of time, and then somehow Tuesday night I'm like, oh man, my video goes up tomorrow. Time to spend like 7 hours editing because I didn't finish it on time like I said I was going to. So yeah, this is the video for this week. Of course, I'll be back on Sunday with another news video. And then next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might finally do that follow-up to that arcade video that I've been saying I was going to do since like November. That'll be fun. But all right. Again, thank you guys for joining me on this spectacular live follow-up thoughts about the Apple event thing. I will see y'all later. I'm going to hit the end stream button, and that's going to make me do another button. All right, I'm hitting end now for real. Peace.